Of year when the days are short and the nights are long. Nature is inviting us into her womb to slow down, to turn within, to lean into the darkness, to lean into the unknown, to lean into the mystery, to tune in, to tap into that higher source that is the truth of who we are. To listen to the sounds of silence. This week I had the opportunity to do that as we were visiting family in Michigan, staying with Heather's parents in Galesburg, Michigan, and they have this beautiful land with a pond and trees, and just watching the snow gently falling and just being present to what is. And one morning, I was helping Cadence, our 3-year-old daughter, get ready, and we were in the bathroom, and I was helping her use the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear Heather's mom from the other room looking out the sliding glass door say, "A bald eagle, a bald eagle!" And I grab Cadence off the toilet, and I run out, and she's just, there with her little jammies dangling, and I'm like, oh! And we have a moment just to commune with the bald eagle flying in their backyard. And I just watched the grace at which it soared. And it was totally a moment of oneness, of connection, of leaning in to that divine wisdom of nature. And I knew in that moment that I was sourced and supplied with everything I need for this journey that I am taking. See, it is in the silence of slowing down, of listening, of trusting ourselves that we realize that we are here for something great, that there is a light within us that is seeking to emerge, to shine forth. Our theme this month is light workers. We are all light workers. We all have a light within us that's seeking to be expressed more fully. And it's called a light workers, not heavy workers. It doesn't have to be heavy. When we tune in, when we tap in, when we allow this light to be the source that is guiding us, we feel in the flow, we feel a lightness. Even in the seeming conflict, even in the seeming struggle, there is a lightness when we are being guided by a vision, a purpose that is greater than our smaller selves. So I'm experiencing the lightness in the darkness of the unknown. And that is what we are going to explore this day. We have 3 objectives. We're going to look at how everything is unfolding perfectly in our lives. How there are gifts to be discovered by leaning into the unknown, and how to demonstrate faith through the action of trust. Through the action of trust. So let's first look at this quote from Deepak Chopra. Trust that your soul has a plan, and even if you can't see it completely, know that everything will unfold as it is meant to. Your soul has a plan, not some God outside you, some God's plan that's playing you like a puppet. No, your soul, who you are, your higher self, something within you. There's this divine seed of potentiality that has been planted within each and every one of us that's seeking to be expressed. And it's waiting for us to tune in, to tap in, to listen, to turn within, and allow it to blossom fully. And when we do this, the path becomes clear step by step. We may not see the whole vision. Many of us want to, our ego mind, right, wants to be safe and know, okay, I'll take that step when I can see the full picture. And what I'm inviting you today is to trust, as Mother Nature trusts, the potentiality that lives in that seed, that busts through the ground, that becomes something great. And trust each step and each moment that something is revealing itself in, as, and through you, to you, as you say yes to being yourself more fully. There's been a seed planted within your soul. It knows what to do. What would it mean to trust completely that everything is unfolding perfectly in your life? This is the game I'm up to right now. I'm entering into a divine experiment of putting all my eggs in a basket called faith and trust. Last weekend, we moved out of our apartment, and we didn't move into another apartment. We minimized our stuff, keeping only our essential, favorite, beloved furniture, kitchen items, the few things that we really need and love to live on. And we packed it up in a little pod, and it's shrunk wrapped in storage somewhere in the suburbs until we give them a call and tell them where to move it. And then we packed up our Jeep with what we need for the next few months. Again, our favorite clothes and shoes, a few of Cadence's favorite toys, a few books for me, a journal for me. And we are entering into this journey of the unknown by taking a road trip of discovery. We're going to be traveling around the country, visiting different communities and spiritual centers, and leaning into, is this the right fit for us? Exploring the town, the community, the folks, seeing how it feels for us, if this is the place we want to raise our daughter, is this the community in which is seeking what I have to offer as a spiritual director. So we're going on an adventure. And now see, my mind a few months ago, when this discovery came to me, thought, and we even said, wouldn't it be great if we know in January where you are to go? So I had, great, yes, oh, that's just a few months away, easy peasy. So I thought, I'd look at just different opportunities and I'd apply, and the next opportunity would be there, and I'd leave and I'd go do that. Well, that's not what my soul had in mind. See, there's great gifts in discovering by leaning into the unknown. In order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought which will weaken this conviction. So as I noticed that my plan, my idea, seemed to be kind of feeling farther and farther away, that there wasn't an opportunity that was really felt like this is going to happen right now. And I opened up to a discovery of something. There must be something different then. There's something that is seeking to happen here in my life. And I was having a practitioner session, and I realized in that moment that what my soul was seeking was rest and rejuvenation. I know you get this. I was like, I'm tired. I've been pouring myself into this community, which I love. And if I had done what I thought was right, go from this job to the next job, I would have kept up at that pace and would have been exhausted. My soul wanted rest and rejuvenation. My soul wanted to get in alignment with my values and with my purpose, and to take that time of discovery. And so what is occurring now is a great time of connection with my wife and my daughter. We get to have all this time together on the road. We get to go visit friends. I came home that night after my session. I'm like, Heather, we can create whatever we want. Where do we want to go? Who do we want to see? We both have the travel bug. It is what connected us 11 years ago. So we realized that we have these friends that have moved all over the country. We have this huge network from spiritual communities and from our theater background and various connections. So how I knew that this was the right, or as you would say, divine order, is I jumped right into action. I didn't just mull it over and think this is, it came like that, this idea of road trip, go travel, see friends, see what's out there. And I went right into action, and I reached out to folks, and all of a sudden we have people giving us their second home for a week, giving us their condo in Taos. Come stay here, come visit, stay with us in our extra bedroom. Friends that we haven't seen in years that are so happy to see us. And then people reaching out saying, come speak here, share your gifts and talents here. So it's all unfolding perfectly in the flow when I simply let go and surrendered and trusted and listened to that silence. And it hasn't all been sunshines and roses, or as Lola would say, rainbows and unicorns. But for me, it is all rainbows and unicorns because I'm rainbow. So I'm going to stick with sunshine and roses. It hasn't all been sunshine and roses. See, a few weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, we took our car in, and it was making this weird sound. I was like, it's real important that we get our car tuned up and see what's going on here before we travel the country for a few months in our car. And I take the car in and expecting, about a $250 tune-up, whatnot. And then I am told that it's going to be about $2,000 to fix a number of things in our car. Exactly. And what I did is I said, okay, this needs to be done. And then I walked to the coffee shop to wait for my car to get done. And this was a breakthrough moment for me because my default pattern, having been raised in this teaching and kind of having an adolescent's view of this thing called New Thought and it's all good, my default from that is that I can just go right to the it's all good. I can just go right to that, well, thank goodness we discovered this and we're going to be safe on the road. But the truth is, in my heart, I was scared. So I reached out to my learning partners here in the Conscious Leadership Program, the other TAs in the class, and I sent a group text, and I said, I'm noticing a pounding in my chest. I'm noticing a tightness, constriction in my throat. I'm noticing a welling behind my eyes. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling angry. The facts are, my car needs blah, blah, blah repairs. And the story I'm making up is that the last mechanic screwed me over and is stupid. This is my unenlightened self, right? The last mechanic did this. I'm feeling scared that we're not going to have enough money. This was all we had saved up for this road trip. And I'm feeling angry that this is happening. And I let myself feel my feelings all the way through. I stood up and and then the tears came. And I noticed how beautiful it was just to be witnessed. I wasn't heroed in any sort of way, like, oh, rainbow, la, la, la. They're just beautiful noticing, rainbow was the response I got. And it was perfect. It was perfect. And I noticed how good I am at breathing and moving my body and crying in public. I've gotten really good at that, y'all. And I call that a win, too. Everyone lives their lives the way they live them. If you're going to judge me, you're going to judge me. This is what I need to do. And so what I was able to do is move those feelings through to completion, and then it wasn't stuck in my body anymore. I felt complete, and I felt ready to align my vision. And I felt ready to kind of get back on the saddle, so to speak, and move from a place of inspiration instead of, again, the default would have been like, it's all good, or the pattern would have been, well, I really need to book some more gigs and I need to work hard and I'm going to look out and I need to make some more money. And, I didn't go into that kind of action. I felt it and I just trusted, like, it's okay. It's okay. And there have been numerous gifts, financial gifts for us, opportunities coming up. And what a gift that we actually had the money straight up to pay that car repair, because that has not always been the case. And we have an intention of being financially free. We paid off 2 credit cards this month. I didn't want to go back to that credit card. We had the means to pay for what was needed, and I opened up, and then more has come. That's called the flow of life. If the eye is single to the good, if the vision remains steadfast, we become one with it. And what is the good? The good is what you name it. The good is that vision that has been planted in your heart, that which only you know is yours to do. And how we connect with that is listening, getting clear on our vision. We have a wonderful spiritual practice called visioning. We're going to be doing a workshop in just a few weeks here in early January. Check it out. Work with a practitioner. Use this practice to call forth that vision of light that is seeking to be expressed in, as, and through you. Slow down. You know, it's this season, this time of year, there's so much activity that actually slowing down and listening to what nature is inviting us to do in itself is an act of resistance. It's counterculture. It's going against the norms of go, 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 do, buy, buy, buy. See everyone, be everything, be the social butterfly. Listen to your soul. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And your soul knows what it needs. When you listen and you allow yourself to love yourself enough to do what your soul is calling you to do. Lean in. How comfortable are you in the unknown? What would it mean to trust spirit, life, your higher self completely? Knowing that you need no thing outside of yourself to prove your worth, your value, that you are whole, perfect, and complete right where you are. What would it feel like to really know that? And to know it with such grace and strength that no matter what other people are saying around you, you can come back to that truth. That is the work. That is the light work of revealing the light no matter what the story is, no matter what the circumstance is. Revealing the truth. And what I mean by truth is that never changing, constant life, energy, spirit. So, as I shared earlier, this quote from Ernest Holmes, in order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. A conviction. And in order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought which will weaken this conviction. So that has been my practice this week as well, as we are stepping into this journey of the unknown. And then you start to notice other people's voices and fear and story coming up in bits and pieces here and there. You know, it's counterculture what we're doing. It's counter to the culture of you gotta, just go along to get along. Like you have a good thing, don't let it go. We're here and it's like, but you had a beautiful place across from the lake. You have, a good opportunity here. You have a great job. Why would you leave that? You have a 3-year-old. How irresponsible. These are some of the noise and the voices, and for me to have that filter and say, is that true for me? What is true for me is I have such a deep faith and conviction and such a deep peace in knowing that this is what we are to do, that is how I'm able to take these steps. And there's been times in my life where I've done things where I haven't been in this. I maybe thought I was, but I haven't. And it's much more easy to get seduced back to the fear when it's your ego running or trying to fight the fear, thinking, but no, let me show you, let me prove something, right? That's a very different energy than the peace of just knowing. So it's something to think about. I'm not saying go quit your job and move out and, ask yourself, trust yourself. You really have to know that you can stand in that place of peace despite the noise and despite the fear that may be projected on you from other folks that are just doing their thing and uncomfortable with feeling their own feelings. Having that faith and that conviction. And so how do we practice this idea of faith? Through taking an action of trust. There was a famous acrobat tightrope walker back in 1860 named Charles Bolden. And he is most well known for doing the tightrope across Niagara Falls. So 1860, there's like 20,000 people gathered around, and he's going from one side over to the other. And he does it several times. He does it once on stilts. He does it once in a bag. I read that he brought like a oven out and then made an omelet in the middle of the rope and then carried the oven back across. And so the crowd is watching and cheering him on. And so the many times he does this, their faith in his ability to do this is growing, yes? And they're feeling the energy. He's got this, he got this. So then he gets a wheelbarrow and he loads it up with bricks. And he walks across the tightrope with a wheelbarrow. He gets to the other side, the crowd's roaring even louder than the falls are falling. And so then he says to the crowd, okay, who wants to get in the wheelbarrow? He points at someone, they're like, This is the difference between faith and trust. You can have faith in something, but in order to really trust is an action. Faith is a noun, trust is an action. So you have to take action towards what you desire to really prove your faith. Otherwise, it's just up here as a nice idea, right? So although no one got in his wheelbarrow that day, think about how that could be a metaphor for your life. What is an area of your life that you would like to lean into the support of your higher self? Lean into the strength and the conviction of what is yours to do. And then what is an action you can take to prove your faith and conviction? And to trust that everything is unfolding perfectly for you. It takes a willingness to be steadfast in our thinking and to realize the truth. The birthless, deathless, changeless, complete, whole, perfect truth that who you are is perfect. Ernest Holmes says, faith looks to the invisible, and instead of seeing a void, it fastens its gaze upon a solid reality. Stay focused on your vision. You get to shape it. You get to look into the void and decide based on what is coming through you as you lean in, how you want to shape your life. What is that vision that has been planted in you that you can lean into and that you can shape? And then stay focused, steadfast focus, no matter what's going on over here. I've got this. God within me's got this. So I'm saying yes to living these principles 100% in my life. I'm not really going to tightrope walk across the Grand Canyon or across the Niagara Falls, yes. But that's a metaphor. What is your own divine experience? What are you ready to explore and to express more of in your life? This is the time, this is the opportunity. And I just want to end by giving such great thanks and gratitude to this community. I am able to go out, as Lola would say, on the skinny branches. I'm able to go out on the skinny branches and to know that my right and perfect opportunity is unfolding and to step out into that unknown, because I know that not only am I backed and supported by the entire universe, but what that universe looks like in form is y'all right here. You are the community that is loving me up. So I know that it's possible, and when I begin to waver a little bit, I can lean in to you. I can text my prayer partners, and I can know that God, as Rainbow, has got this. And so do you. I love you, Bodhi.
All right. So I think it'd be fun to do a little